Welcome back to a video. It's Bradford v Colchester match preview. Let me know your score predictions and thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. And this is all I have to say. It's Bradford City at home v Colchester. It's not good. It's Bradford City at home v Colchester. I could end it now. We know what's going to happen. We know, but we're probably going to lose to a Kelleher corner header. But we can't just say that because we actually have to talk about the results. I say we. I don't have to, but I do probably. I do want to, but. All for what? Like I say, a corner header from Kelleher in the 80th minute after them sitting back after time wasting through that corner, and then he leaps biggest out of everyone. He's already scored 2 goals for Colchester in his short spell there. Again, up against the cup, and he'll probably shush us all. Yeah, that's probably what will happen, and it's not good. In front of about 20,000 fans as well. £5 tickets. Again, it's a good thing that the club's done. You know, the season tickets are quite reasonably priced. Obviously, 17,000, 18,000 we've been hitting all season. We hit around 19,000 when we get, you know, a decently sized club come and bring quite a few. So hopefully we can hit it, but hopefully, you know, it is a good atmosphere as well. We don't want a load of Man City fans or Arsenal or Liverpool or Man U, you know, these big team fans who would rather be sat watching, you know, that, and then looking through, you know, whatever app you use to see your scores and look at all the stats on that game instead of watching us in front of your eyes and being forced to going because it's cheap. We want a good atmosphere and we want fans who want to go to watch Bradford City mainly. So obviously it's good for the club and hopefully we can hit it, but without me trying to be a pessimist and thinking negative about it all, hopefully we get a good atmosphere as well, because that's obviously what we want. We want to support the players, but also the players have to give a good performance as well. You know, we can't just be saying our atmosphere hasn't been good enough. The performances on the pitch haven't been good enough either. And obviously when you look at that Barrow defeat and the Rochdale defeat, they were terrible games where we controlled the game too well because there were no creativity. So yeah, we've got to improve our home form. We've got to improve the home performances as well, not just the results. Since we beat Grimsby in 2021 of April, we've won 12 in 43. That is terrible. Our home form this season, 24 points from 16 games. Our away form, we're joint best. With a game in hand on Northampton, who have got 30 points with us. We've played 16. They've played 17. We're basically the best away team in the league. And I think we've got to play Rochdale away, and that's our game in hand. So hopefully we can take our form into this game and win. But that's not going to happen. We just know it in. We've improved massively defensively. We've only conceded 12 goals all season from open play. So that's fantastic. And obviously Sam Stubbs and Adam Clayton and Darragh Costello, other players who were brought in January, have massively improved us. Even Matt Derbyshire is come in and done a job when he's been available, and obviously scored that great goal against Stevenage. So the recruitment in January, what we have to look at it probably a month on or so. It has been a very good recruitment window again from, you know, the people in the backroom staff. So you've got to praise that. And I wanted to talk about Sam Stubbs for a minute. What a player he is, and I have to apologise for doubting him over the first 2-3 games because I thought he was too slow. I thought it was very easy to get at one-on-one and twist and turn. You know, the Barrow goal, I thought it was forward, and it probably was. That doesn't change that. But he has massively improved us, and he's improved us defensively, but I think he's improved us mentally defensively as well, because he's vocal, he's experienced in this division as well at Exeter. He is phenomenal. He reads the game really well. I think I remember Exeter fans saying he's like a Scouse Maldini or something along those lines, and thought, yeah, we've said that about players before, and that's not true, but he is a bit like him. He reads the game really well, he positions himself really well. It's just his pace. I think that's a bit worrying, but he has massively changed us. He's played 5 games, we've won 4 of those 5 games, 3 clean sheets, 3 goals against, and we've only conceded 11 shots on target to opposition. That is phenomenal, and it is partly due to him, also due to Adam Clayton. He's made a very similar difference in the same ways that I've mentioned. But focusing on Colchester for a minute, they've brought in Ben Garner, as their manager. I think was it Matt Bloomfield who were there, and now he's gone to Wickham. I think that's what happened. I'm not that up to date with it, but he's a decent manager, Ben Garner. Obviously, the Charlton fans didn't like him. They called him stubborn, too possession based, very boring, and no real creativity. Colchester have some good players, more veteran players who used to be good EFL players. But when you look at players like Matt Jay, who's massively fallen off, I think someone like him probably could get something out of him, a good tune out of him. We'll have to see. But hopefully the inter-manager bounce. Hopefully they do continue to lose, because I'll get into results in a minute, but they've lost to Northampton and Carlisle recently. They're in and around us, and we want to be challenging them. So we've got to be winning this game. We've got to be turning the corner, and Mark Hughes has got to adapt. He's got to learn from his mistakes. But like I say, they haven't scored in the last three, and they haven't obviously won in the last three because they haven't scored in the last three. So these aren't that good. They've got a bit of quality, but we've got to be beating them. So, into the results that are on screen now. We'll talk through ours. 2-0 win against Gillingham, very good win. 1-0 win against Doncaster. 1-0 defeat to Barrow. 2-0 win against Tranmere. 3-2 win against Stevenage, and a 1-1 draw to Mansfield. Their results: a 1-0 defeat to Northampton, a 1-0 defeat to Carlisle, a 0-0 draw to Walsall, a 1-0 win against Grimsby, a 1-1 draw to Barrow, and a 2-1 win against Hartlepool. So some decent results in there for them, and not too bad against Northampton, Carlisle and Walsall, three teams who want to be challenging for promotion, and Grimsby beating them who just beat Southampton. I just want to touch on this, but if that were Phil Parkinson's Wrexham, who's knocked out Luton and knocked out Southampton in the FA Cup, we'd be reacting like someone landed on the moon again. And if they did, I mean, I'm not into any of that, so I'm not speculating. But people get very angry about that sort of thing, so I'm staying away with it. But that's the results done. On to their key players. So they've got some. I've said before previously, but they've got some good players on the day. Matt Jay, obviously, he would be a key player. He's fallen off. He hasn't contributed any goals to them since coming in. They've got to be getting tunes out of him. They've got some very experienced veterans who have been very good players in the EFL. They've got a former international, I don't know if he still is, but Tommy Smith used to play for Australia. Hewers. They've got some very good players, and they need to be getting more out of them. So they've got a fair few key players who haven't produced nowhere near enough this season. On to the past and presents. They've got three former Bantams, Sam Hornby, Connor Wood, and Fiacre Kelleher. So, I mean, let me know what you thought of them over the spell. I wasn't keen on Connor Wood. I thought he was very suspect defensively and really poor defensively. It's a shame we didn't get any money for him, because I thought he could have been a bit of an asset, But I think Gillingham went for him at one point, but we didn't get any money for him. Kelleher, like I've already mentioned him, he was poor, and he could go and score today. I mean, he's already scored 2 for them, but hopefully he don't do out, and hopefully we exploit him, because he ain't the quickest. When you look at your players like Costello, your Chapman Walkers, Cooks, we could be exploiting him in behind for pace. And Sam Hornby, I don't think he plays for them anymore. He played the first half of the season, but they brought in Kieran O'Hara, is it? He used to be a Man United goalkeeper. He's an okay keeper, probably better than Hornby, who stepped in for Richard O'Donnell a couple of times over his time at City. Head-to-heads, we've only played 24 games against Colchester, won 9, drew 14 and lost 16, so not the best of form. That's not going to cheer you up, is it? They've beat us 7 more times, drawn quite a lot, only 9 wins in 24 against them. But our last 5 games, a 1-0 defeat, a 3-0 defeat last season. I think that it's hard to really read, between the lines for that 3-0 defeat, because we picked our B team that last season. It was mainly to see contracts. Are you good enough? And no one said, yeah, I want to stay. They're all poor in that game, and some of them are still here because we can't get rid of them. A 0-0 draw, a 2-1 win, and a 0-0 draw again, and I think that was followed by another 0-0 draw. I think it could follow suit, and I think it's going to be a tight game, and it's up to us to break us down. Onto my team. Can this team break them down? I don't know. I think Hughes has to sort that out. We've got to be able to break teams down who are probably going to sit in. I think everyone can guess that that's how they're going to set up. I think it'd be stupid if they didn't, to be honest. Lewis in goal, You know, what a man, what a goalkeeper, more importantly, but what a man. I think he's donated again for the City event, you know, flag for the cup. I think he donated, if I remember rightly, he donated for the other one as well, the Legends flag, and he is a legend. You know, I don't know if he really is. I know it gets thrown around a lot, but in terms of actually being a person, he is a legend for that as well, and he is a fantastic goalkeeper. So it's good that that goes along with it. Halliday massively improved recently. Very impressed with how he's performing. Brilliant assist for Smallwood on Tuesday night. Platt, I think he's improved a lot because of Stubbs next to him, so I'm keeping that partnership. Rideout in left back, his experience has improved us on that side, and I think it'd be harsh to drop him. So I would keep Rideout in the team. Then do you stick with the diamond or the 4-2-3-1? I'm sticking. I'm not. I'm going with a 4-2-3-1. I think we need a bit more width. I think we need a different option. You know, I think even with the 4-2-3-1, if you start with this team, Clayton, Gilead, Walker, Costello, Chapman, Cook, you can change that around. I think you could. I think you could pick your team smartly so that if it ain't working after half an hour, you can change it into a diamond. You know, you could go Clayton at the base, Gilead, Chapman, Walker, or vice versa if Walker's injured, like I've heard a few motor wins, but he is. Pereira plays in that position, and then Costello and Cook, or you could play someone on, or you could go Clayton, Smallwood in the midfield too, or Clayton and East preferably, at home, and then Gilead on the right, with Costello on the left, Walker and Cook, and then if it ain't working, that formation, if it does work, then you can, play more out and out wingers, maybe bring Chapman and Banks on, then, you can then stick with that. But if it isn't, then you've got the option to change back to a diamond. That's easily adaptable. So I think you've got that option, but that's the team I'd go with. So Clayton, Gilead, Walker. If he's out, I'd like to see Pereira back in the team. I'd like to see him given another chance. I think he last played in November. Obviously, he played in that friendly match against Everton. He looked really good from a few clips. I know it's only a few clips, but I would like to see him. There's a player in there. We saw it last season. So I'd play him if Walker isn't available. Chapman on the left, Costello on the right, and Cook up top, who would be making his 100th game for City. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. I think it'll be a tight game, and hopefully we can get the 3 points. Let me know your thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. Your score predictions. Have a good one.